Away, Journey to the Unexpected is actually quite unexpected. In a sea of RTS shooters, crawlers, and beat-em-ups, this bright, colorful, first-person adventure where you hit animals with a stick and exchange cubes for friendship was quite a surprise. Self-described as a feel-good love letter to anime, and I don't know what that means. They nailed the feel-goods, but much of the game is a mixed bag as for what exactly they were striving for. Nonetheless, the game has some big positives in its adventurous atmosphere, level design, soundtrack. Actually, that's about it. Those power pop guitar riffs are a big plus, but what the heck is going on here? I'm adamant that the gaming experience is a net positive, but there are strong critiques out there that can't be ignored. I think it comes down to the game having a personality disorder of sorts. The game has good things, but they're not fully developed, or they even clash with other features. Like, the game is directly advertised as an anime-inspired roguelite, and the trailer shows some pretty fast-paced first-person action. Well, the disconnect hits right away, because why is it anime-inspired? I don't doubt that it is, but most games are to some extent. Unless the game was initially released to a market where anime is a foreign concept, I don't know what that description is supposed to mean. The game has a pretty sweet opening cutscene, and the art looks inspired by, maybe, Doraemon? Beyond that, the gameplay is Doom. It is an imitation of the classic Doom engine, but next to no guns. Is that anime? There are video games out there that are literally interactive anime. So calling this game video game inspired is about as effective. Maybe the roguelite features are supposed to represent the constant defeat and growth of our hero, but that doesn't really connect either. Why does every game have to have roguelite elements? I get it for arcade games that are near endless repetition and they want you to jump back into the action, but Away is advertised as being a 5-hour-long story game. That's part of its sales pitch. You don't want a game to tell you it's a short story where you die and replay a lot. The game even knows this is a problem, because some of the unlockable perma rewards are the ability to skip the grindy randomized hub levels and go straight to the boss dungeon. Procedural generation goes hand in hand with roguelites, and Away, which is barely procedural to begin with, rewards you by cutting back that feature which it used to sell itself to you. I'm not bitter, just confused. The gameplay isn't bad, it's just unintentionally misleading. Away isn't the game that it thinks it is, or the game it thinks that you should think it is. It's Doom without shooting, it's platforming without being able to see your feet. It's quirky characters and dialogue that amount to a weapon with a face icon. It's annoying in parts and underwhelming in others, but it's still fun. The sunshine atmosphere comes through strong. I had a blast while running through the hub worlds, climbing the rocks, memorizing where the treasure boxes pop up, wondering if any of those wild-looking characters were actually going to turn on me. And some of the dungeons were genuinely intriguing to explore. That's saying something because I'm typically pretty exclusive to my love of overworlds. It's a shame about the price. Holy expletives removed, game. I'm trying to recommend you, but you really like to shoot yourself in the foot. This game is expensive. It sells itself as being short, then charges out the wazoo, whatever that is. Even price tracking shows the game's sale price as too damn high. Well, review over. The game isn't worth your money. But it may be worth your time. If you like the visual appeal of this game, like to run around and explore things, and know how to enjoy the good parts of games while accepting that the project as a whole may be largely flawed, then I recommend wishlisting Away. And go try to find the key on trade forums or something. It's worth the romp. It's only a few hours long, but it is a complete experience. It's not impossibly frustrating, the story has a conclusion, and you get to see those bouncy, smooth animation cycles. It gets less repetitive as you go, especially if you just accept death the first few rounds in order to power up. Prioritize making friends and save your gold for the desert zone. If you're looking for a cartoony afternoon adventure, there is fun to be had in a way. Devs, if you happen to see this, and can continue to update the project as 90% of games these days seem to keep doing, please, oh please, go full out and commit to the collectathon elements of your game. It's the strongest mechanic and probably the easiest to commit to. Maybe precision platforming is out of the picture, but I love falling down those shafts in the laboratory dungeons to find a chest, then hop my way back to the top. Also, the hub worlds are enticing enough that any excuse to explore them is fun. Make the levels linear, they pretty much are anyway. But let the player be able to go back and explore every hub world freely, as they're unlocked, and keep them unlocked. Crank up the prices on power-ups, and do the same to the quantity of gold and enemies in all of the areas. Ditch the friendship cubes and have us go on quests instead. Find the old man's glasses or the worker's wrench. Actually fight the tree and robot. Let us be able to collect all 8 characters in a playthrough. You can use their abilities for gatekeeping later areas of the game, or maybe let us collect 6 or 7 of them, with the option to ditch the group in favor of one of the OP characters for the final level. Strengthen the narrative through linear gameplay and one small story tweak. Rather than starting the game with us waking up to an explosion, introduce us to our parents first, only to see them quote-unquote explode in front of us with a LabbyWorks worker panically running away, or even the Space Knight directly threatening us. Proper motivation and a clear antagonist, without any need to edit any other part of the story right there. Maybe these recommendations sound like they're removing modern uniqueness from the game, but I'd argue that they're removing the vagueness and will give the game a proper foundation for gamers to identify with. It's still salvageable. Away, Journey to the Unexpected is a melee-based Doom-like game that confuses anime fans and pretty much cheats roguelite players. However, the overly saturated cartoon world is spot on for a fun, lighthearted adventure, and while the game mechanics don't excel in any area, none of it's done badly, except for the roguelike bits, but they eventually, mostly, work themselves out of the picture. If you like cute adventures and you're in a position where the price of this game doesn't make you wince, I recommend giving it a shot. It's not a surefire good time, but you might find some elements to really enjoy.